Welcome to another exhilarating episode of Comic Book Straight Talk, brought to you from the secret basement inside one of America's oldest comic shops, Tulsa's own The Comic Empire. Now, true believers, open up your ear holes and get ready to have your head filled with the best comic book knowledge this galaxy can handle. That's right, it's time for another nerd overload with Comic Book Straight Talk.
Welcome back to Comic Book Straight Talk. This is Dalian.
Terry.
Kenny.
And Carrington's not with us this time, so...
She's with her mom. It's her mom's birthday.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Well, happy birthday. Not that you listen, but... she ought to listen to us. She'd probably enjoy it.
No.
Alright, so Terry's got the topic for the day.
Okay.
But apparently it's a story that starts it.
It's not a secret, but, you start collecting a series. You're getting into this series. You enjoy it. You like the characters. You like the storyline that's going. And you collect it for quite some time. You're invested into it for quite a while.
Is it a 100-issue series, 50-issue series?
It's a long, ongoing series.
Okay.
All right. They haven't even told you if it's ever going to end. You don't know. But then finally, just things start going downhill for it. And you're not liking the characters as much. The story's definitely not going the way you want it to anymore. What is it that finally makes you decide to stop collecting that series that you're so heavily invested into? And on top of that, on the other side of it, sometimes people will also stop it and then they'll jump back into it. What would make you jump back into that series after having decided to stop it sometime later on?
Damn, that kind of dovetails into what I was going to talk about earlier. But okay.
All right.
I can tell you what did it with Daredevil. To me, why I stopped getting Daredevil for a while was the heavy-handed politics.
Yeah.
And when they relaunched it, I started picking it up again. So.
And the relaunch has been good. It's Chip Zdarsky, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. Did you read the miniseries that led up to that, though? The 5-issue miniseries?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. That was good, too.
I find it really hard if I'm really invested into it, and I've spent a lot of money, and it was good for such a long time to drop a book.
For me,
Usually with me, it's finding another book.
Right.
That holds my interest more. Then it's easy to let go of.
And so you finally decide to drop it. Where do you drop it at? Do you keep collecting it till it ends at a story arc, or you just cold stop?
Well, for me...
Yes.
Yes.
It just depends. How bad is the current story?
Right.
I mean, there's no point in continuing to buy it if the current story's terrible.
I'm a Batman fan. I've read, Batman in the 90s. I read in the 80s stuff. Even in 2000. When they brought back, even the New 52 stuff I read. When King took over with this Rebirth stuff, I was on board, and the first story arc was pretty good. The Gotham girl, Gotham boy, savior of Gotham, or whatever. To me, I stopped it at issue 70 because I just got tired of buying it and not enjoying it.
Batman is one character that I've been collecting for a long time, through thick and thin. Still picking up early Silver Age.
Well, yeah, you're picking up some Golden Age stuff, right?
And then I guess it's just I that's the one character that I will definitely wade through the pour and to finally get back to somebody that's doing it
now,
correctly or
to answer your flip question. I stopped it at issue 70 because I was not impressed. I have not liked the King stuff I've read all of it. There's been some issues that have been really good, some have been horrible. Most for me have been more on the horrible side. I say he's doing his version of Nightfall from the 90s. That's what it's looking like to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I stopped at issue 70. I'll pick it up when he's done. When they bring in a new writer and a new artist, because there's apparently, which kind of dovetails what I was going to talk about earlier, was him being off of Batman, and a superstar writer artist team is supposed to come on board at issue 85 or 86. They haven't announced it yet. I'll come back then.
Well, also another thing that I see a lot of people doing, and probably myself included, is say if you do stop something and then you finally decide to go back and start reading it again, a lot of people decide to go back and get those issues that they skipped.
Yeah, because you can't have the hole in your collection.
Right.
So it's almost like, why did I stop in the first place?
Well, I mean,
picking it up and going back and
I will
Because
continue
sometimes
reading
you
them.
can get them out of the bargain boxes.
through.
Well, there's things. Yeah, I mean, I will wait until the half-off sale up here at the shop
Yeah.
and go back and get them for, $2 a pop or something
Hey,
like that.
for a long time, one of Mike's old customers used to get Robin every issue in his bag, and he got off the list, and every February and June he'd come in and buy all
Yep.
the Robin issues half off.
Because
and-
nobody else is getting Robin.
Right.
Right. And, he said it just wasn't good enough to, at the time, spend, $250 on?
Yeah.
So, but he didn't want, he wanted to keep the collection going, but he'd come in and buy them half off.
Yeah, and that's like my Batman collection's not what it used to be, but I've got the Kelly Jones Batmans. I've been picking up more of runs, pretty much. Now it kind of irritates me. I have holes in my collection, yes, by doing that. But
Well, does it?
you know,
I know a lot of people stop because of the story. Do you guys ever stop because the artist has changed and you just can't stand the art, even though the story
Yes.
is good?
yes, I stopped
Or at least
Namor.
decent?
Namor back when John Byrne was doing it.
It just depends. I'm more likely to drop a book because the story's bad than the art. So, I guess I'm more forgiving with the art than I am the story.
I am to a degree, but as I was saying with the John Byrne Namor, John Byrne was writing the story, doing the art, and then the next issue you had this young upstart named Jay Lee come in, total 180 art style than what Byrne had, and to me it was that disconnect, and I didn't relate to the character anymore. Well, not that I related anymore anyway, because I'm not a mutant and can't swim underwater.
Well, like I said, I have trouble doing that. I'm trying to finally, when a story arc comes to a completion, if I had decided I haven't been enjoying it, trying to stop it at least at that story arc and not continue picking it up further.
So what book are you thinking about?
Well, I've been collecting monsters for a long time, and I've
Which
really
one?
Monsters.
Monsters. Oh, the Satanica, not Santanica, but what's her name? From Image?
Yeah. What is her name? It's really hard. to
Marjorie Liu.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
and-
something like
yeah.
that. And the art is still amazing, but the story I enjoyed the story, and then it started going downhill, and I just kind of I've gotten tired of it now, and I'm like,
Sonic Takeda.
Sonic Takeda. Thank
Yeah.
you. Sorry,
So,
I butchered names. People know that.
it's coming to a story arc end, and so I'm going to go ahead and end that.
Well, and then
See, that would be harder because the art is so pretty.
The art is so great, yes.
But that story was...
I think I
I
stopped at
could
issue
not get
3.
into it.
I couldn't. I tried and I gave it 3 issues and I couldn't get into it. But yes,
Yeah.
the art is pretty. But like we've said, and Kenny said it, Mike said it, and it's a good jumping on point. It's a good jumping off point. The end of a story arc is a perfect time to jump off,
Mm-hmm.
or an even number.
So sometimes I enjoy it when a book that I've been reading, even if I've liked it, that it's finally coming to an end. Like I think Black Science is finally coming to an end.
That's still going. I thought it was in. I thought
What
he
is
ended
it?
it.
It's
Black
coming
Science.
to an end in a couple months.
That book's still going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's still been a decent read, but it's like that's one less book off my pull list now.
Well, see,
On my
Marvel-
pull list.
Marvel kind of helps me do that because they canceled the entire X line, so I've lost Uncanny, I've lost X-23, so that's 2 books that frees me up there. So, but yeah, I mean,
But
that is
then you run into what happened to me. I gave up on all those Zenoscope books.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I was
And
kind of
then,
talking about earlier.
and then like 6 months later, they, kicked it up a notch, and all the stories were good after that. And now I'm having to go back and buy them all.
Yeah, that's what that's what we were talking about a little bit earlier, and then it was Zenoscope. For you, it's not just one cover. You kind of want all the covers for the most part. If
Well,
it's a-
with Robin Hood,
with
unless there's a dude on it.
unless there's a dude on
no
it. Yeah.
dudes or monster covers. But
I
yeah,
don't know,
Robin
a
Hood,
good,
I'm
a good
getting.
vampire cover on Robin Hood would be awesome.
Well, the
Yeah.
Robin Hood, the Curse.
Yeah.
But Robin Hood, I get all the covers. The other books, it's just covers I like. I mean, like, Hellchild, there's a couple issues where I have 2 or 3 of the covers, but for the most part, it's just buying the one I like the most.
I went from having hardly any Zenescopes to having a short box full of Zenescopes.
I went from having 3 boxes of Zenescopes to 7.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, mainly Robin Hood, right?
Yeah.
Robin Hood is a box and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, I like Hellchilds. I mean, I've enjoyed them all. My top 3 on those, and there again, with Kenny said, I'm gone back and because I gave up on Zenescope. I thought they were a TNA, book from the '90s, which is what they started out with.
When they first started out, it was all about the covers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's still a large portion
And
of it.
the stories were interesting, but they were small press and they weren't going to win any Eisners. But they were interesting stories, and then they started going towards this kind of a almost superhero type universe, and
It's kind of a shared thing, and
yeah.
so
And then I just kept getting it out of, well, I've already got them all. I might as well keep getting them. And then when they hit issue 100, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not buying anymore. And then they ended Wonderland, and I'm done. I'm not buying anymore. And then like 6 months later, they came out with Robin Hood and Van Helsing and all them, and those are all the good books. And so now they've got good quality writers, and the art's better than it was. So
I mean, even the second tier books. I mean, I put Robin Hood and Van Helsing and Robin Hood and Van Helsing pretty much as the top tier for them, and even the second tier would be Hellchild, Jasmine Bell, probably a couple other ones are good still.
yeah,
I enjoyed the Bell Monster Hunter. I thought Beast Hunter. I thought was really good. In fact, I signed up for I put it on my list. I put Robin Hood on my list and Van Helsing. So,
And kind of not semi-related, how do you stop yourself from buying more books that sound interesting that come in the catalog? It's brand new. It's a #1. It looks good. It sounds good. It's interesting.
if you can figure that one out, you let me know.
Because see, none of us have all the money in the world. We're
We work
but yet all this stuff looks interesting. Or these #1s that are coming out. How do you limit yourself to all this goodness that's coming out? How do you say no?
How do you stop yourself from buying just the book for the cover? Seriously, I mean that's a lot of times I'll pick up a book just for the cover, especially if it's an artist like Art Jeremy. Anytime he does a cover, I get it.
I've been trying to start reducing the amount of books that I have. I'm trying to hit a dollar point. And it's been really hard because every diamond that comes out, there's always these new books or a new cover or something that looks interesting. There were several new #1s coming out. A lot of them were small press books or image books, of course, that were coming out. And I'm like, I get my total up, and I'm like, then I have to go back there, and I'm trying to cut it, and it's tough trying to cut these books.
I think a lot of what I do is creative teams.
Yeah.
Or creators, period, and okay, I know Brubaker and Phillips is going to be good. That's a definite yes. I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy anything Joel Jones does. But if I've never heard of any of the creators and the book sounds interesting, but Dal's ordering it, I just flip through Dal's when he gets it.
Yeah.
And if it looks
Or if
good,
Dal's
then
ordering it, you don't want to order it.
Yeah. If Dal orders it,
Sometimes-
then I just skip it.
Sometimes, yeah, and there's been some of that way. There's been some that I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, this sounds really cool. There was one from Lion Forge, I think, and it was like the ribbon of the direction you go, or some odd name, and it was kind of a crime noir book set in current times, though. And I was like, it sounds kind of interesting. Okay, so I signed up for the first issue, and then the next catalog comes out, and I was like, well, I guess I need to sign up for issue 2, so I signed up for issue 1. And so.
In this last catalog that we just had, there were several books. I can't name them all off the top of my head, but there were a couple that I was really interested in. There's a new Archie versus Predator, and there's a hack cover on there. I really liked that, but I'm like, I don't normally pick up a lot of the Archie books. I pick up more of the horror stuff of Archie, but I don't normally pick that up. And I finally, after I had my total, that's one of the books I decided I'd go ahead and cut.
Yeah.
And I really kind of wanted that one because I really like that hack cover. And then the Betty.
Yeah, I was just glad Tucci didn't do a Betty and Veronica cover. He did on the Predator versus Archie, he did a Predator cover, so I skipped past that.
And there's a little,
What
if
if
he'd have
it's a-
done,
What
if
if it's a
he'd,
female Predator, though?
if he'd have done Betty and Veronica, I probably would have ordered his cover.
that's actually what I was going to lead into next. The next one was the Betty and Veronica. There were several really nice covers
Yeah.
on there. Not Betty and Veronica. Betty, Veronica, Red Sonja, and Vampirilla.
Yeah.
There's the one where Vampirilla's in the jail cell, which is really nice. And then there was at least one or two others that I really liked. And so I went ahead and added them to my cart, and I'm looking there and I'm saying, man, it's like, my total is way over what I
Yeah.
wanted it to be. And I'm trying to figure out what to cut. And those covers are so nice. I mean,
Well, it's like for me.
I finally just decided on just one cover, and
Yeah.
one with Vampirilla in the jail cell.
That's the Faye Dalton cover.
So,
Yeah.
I have I'm a Kelly Jones fan. I've mentioned it before, and it's like if he does a book, I usually pick up his cover.
mhm.
And so it's like I could care less. I've been a Shadow fan. I like the Shadow, but I'm not a huge fan of his stuff, of the Shadow. So I don't. But I have 2 issues of the Shadow because Kelly Jones did the cover. If I could get away from doing that, I would be a lot better. Just buying for the artist.
bet.
I mean, you know,
I bet at least 40% of the books in my collection are because of the cover.
yeah.
Well, they have to, a lot of them have to be because of the cover, because the synopses are so brief, and you
Yeah.
really don't have a really good sense of what the
Or
story.
when you
how
get the
good
ones from Marvel that are like classified.
right.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Classified,
they
but
give you an idea of
Joelle
what
Jones
the
did the
story is
cover.
going to be about,
Okay.
but that doesn't necessarily tell you the story's going to be any good.
Right.
So a lot of it is
Right.
based on cover.
Yeah.
Well, and that's like Sabrina. I wouldn't have ordered Sabrina #1, but Adam Hughes did the cover, and I saw what it looked like, and I was like, man, that's an awesome cover.
Right.
And a lot of his stuff lately, I'm just like, he's kind of phoning it in, but that was a classic Adam Hughes
Yeah.
cover, so I had to order a couple.
Yeah, he had another cover here recently. What was that? Was it Ride? With the girl
The
in the
Ride,
unicorn. Yeah, which is kind of nice. And that's a new book that's coming out. That's going to actually be #1. I don't have any idea if that's going to be any good, but they of course put Hughes doing the cover. And
Well, I don't know if they're still sticking to it, but the whole thing behind the ride was that the main character in the book was a '68 Mustang, or '69 Camaro.
Mm-hmm. I remember
Yeah.
that back in the day. Yeah, back in the day, several years ago.
So every story will have the '69 Camaro in it.
so I'm trying to cut back on that as well, even though it has a really nice cover under something like. I'll read the synopsis and I'm like, man, does this synopsis really, really sound good, or is it just, that sounds
I think
interesting.
for me, they need to put Sienkiewicz on every cover of a book that sounds interesting for me, because then I won't have to buy it.
I generally like a lot, not everything Sienkiewicz does, but I generally like a lot of his Sienkiewicz stuff.
But I know
Sienkiewicz, or however he
Whatever.
likes to-
I know we all ordered multiple covers of a couple issues back of Catwoman that Art Germ did,
Yeah.
because it was a classic costume that I think most of us like.
Yeah,
I mean, I know I ordered like 2 or 3,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But as far as, deciding not to buy one, it's just like you said, you just got to give yourself a budget, and you buy all the books that you're going to like, and then you have this little bit left over, and you have to decide. And,
yeah. How do you
well,
say you've
it's
got your-
easy for me because I won't buy anything Boom does, or Black Mask, or Lion Forge, because everything I've read by him I thought sucked.
Well, see, to me,
So-
I'm the opposite. I buy some of the Boom books because one book I was surprised I liked was Ronan Island. I picked up those, and that was pretty good. But I mean, some Boom books I picked up, and I'm like, oh my god, this is horrible. Like the Lucas, A Strange Fruit.
Yeah.
I thought
But beautiful,
the art was awesome.
beautiful.
It was beautiful.
J.G. Jones, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
the art, but the story, I was just like, wasn't that interesting to me. So.
But you were able to cut it off. That's where, like I said, I
Yeah.
have that problem is
Right.
cutting it.
And I guess one thing Kitty and I have that we can do is when we work at the shop, if Mike's got a couple of issues extra, we can sit and read the book and then decide, hey, yeah, this was a good book, I want to pick it up.
That's another thing I try to do is I'll try to maybe read something online and see, kind of get an idea if I really want this in the paper issue. But it's kind of hard to do that.
Well, if Alan likes it, we know to avoid it.
Or you.
Or me, yeah, I know. Thanks.
Lord forbid they both like it.
Oh.
If we both like a book, you need to run. Yeah.
So So that was kind of my topic for today. Just trying to see what everybody else had to say about that.
And then,
Well, and on the
Trying to figure it
opposite
out for
end,
myself.
on the opposite end, there are creators whose stuff I will not buy.
Alex
So,
DeCampi.
She's one of them. And you know, I used to be a big
You
fan.
did, yeah.
Margaret,
Marguerite Bennett.
Marguerite Bennett, yeah.
You know,
Mags.
I was
Mags is kind of cute. Not
He
that I want-
is?
It's a she.
Okay.
I saw the picture the other day. I was like, oh, that's what she
Okay.
looked like.
It's a she that
It's a
was
she.
born as Brian.
Oh, was it?
Versace.
Oh, well, okay.
well,
Well, okay. The little biography didn't say that, but okay, it's fine. Hey,
But
yeah.
regardless,
Your tastes have changed.
they suck. Their
Ow.
stories are awful.
Right.
They're decent artists, but the stories are awful. But anyway, I was always unfair to Marguerite Bennett. So
I think if
I'm
she
gonna
wrote-
I'm gonna let that one go.
I think if she did her own book,
She does.
And it's-
Animosity.
and it's good,
Yeah.
but if she's trying to do
Well,
licensed stuff,
I
it's not
think
as good.
so. What I found out was that Marguerite Bennett lives in Hollywood. Okay. So she was having to write 7 books a month just to pay her rent.
Oh,
And that's
okay.
a lot of the artists have to do that. I mean, they
Yeah.
have to,
Or writers.
So
writers, yeah.
I always thought she had good story ideas. It was the execution that I didn't like.
Okay.
So now that she's down to her 1 single book a month, it's a lot better. So I think I was just being unfair to her.
I've enjoyed Animosity for the most part. I think I'm finally going to drop it, though, because it's been just going on too long and the story's kind of dragging on.
Has it become?
And I never could get into what was that? Animosity Evolution or something like that. I couldn't get into that one.
I kind of enjoyed Insects
I
little bit.
enjoyed
Yeah.
that.
a little bit, up to 3 or 4 issues.
Yeah.
No thanks.
It was kind of weird though.
Well, it's also
Um,
good to know that I'm not the only person.
And
who has
some
that
of
problem. I
the
need to
some
start
of the
dropping stuff.
some of the creators that I won't buy are good creators, but I don't like the way that they've interacted with their fans.
Like,
It used to be
so-
Ron Mars. He's a great writer.
He's like a dick, though.
Well, yeah, but he's a good writer. But yeah, because he wrote Sojourn. You know, we loved it, but yeah, like you said, it's
Like Colin Bunn, I don't normally pick up any of his superhero stuff, but usually if he's doing some horror or something of that nature, I'll pick up that because I think he writes that style
Yeah.
much better.
and see, I'm not a huge fan
That's
of his.
definitely his
but-
genre.
Yeah. So,
Well, you're not a big horror fan.
I'm
as
not a
it is,
huge
so, I
horror
mean, that
fan,
wouldn't-
right? I know because it surprised you the other day when I was talking about Dark Red.
Yeah, I was like, what are you reading
What
that
are you
for?
reading that stuff for? He almost didn't say crap. You know,
But he writes a couple of
Yeah.
Marvel books, I believe.
yeah, he wrote some Star Wars books too.
I think did he do
I think
some
he-
Avengers or something maybe?
I don't think he's
something,
done
he did something
Avengers.
else. I don't
know
remember
what he's
what it
done.
was, but if I see him doing like a superhero book, I usually won't pick that up.
Well, it's like Ed Brubaker.
Yeah.
His
Right,
crime,
and
his crime
his
stuff
crime
is
noir
much
stuff
better
is-
than his superhero stuff.
See,
But
I-
he'll even tell you, I had 400 superhero stories in me, and I told 500. So-
To me, and that may be the next run I go after, is his Batman run. Was it Batman or Detective he did? Where it was him and
Yeah.
Scott McDaniel.
I think both.
It may have been.
I think it was
But it was
Detective,
him and Scott McDaniel, and man, that was a great. That was a good run.
Right.
I may go after get that there again, going after
And
runs.
Rucka took over after him.
Yeah,
or
that's when it went
something.
downhill. Well, actually, Rucka at the time was good.
Yeah.
Rucka
can
now,
really kick
I'm
off
like,
a
no.
story, but he doesn't have a longevity. I think
He doesn't
kind
have
of like
staying
Rick
power.
Remender.
kind of like Remender, but then a lot of artists are like that. I mean, they'll start off a story that they come into with some great ideas and everything, and then after a while, they executed their idea,
Yeah.
executed their story, but they're still wanting them to write more and create more. And eventually
Or the editorial that said, "Hey, stretch it out," or whatever.
You,
Yeah.
you get tired, and you just it's like
But-
anything. If you like bananas and you eat too many bananas, you're going to get tired of bananas. That
But
old.
I've always said, if I was going to start a comic company, I would hire Remender to write the first 2 issues of every book.
Yeah. And then hand
Because
it off to
no
somebody
one
else.
starts a series as good as Rick Remender.
Yeah.
And another on your question that you had about I mean, I know I get a lot of stuff that you don't get.
Right.
and vice
I
versa.
think we all get
Right, yeah, and so I mean, if there's anything, hey, hey, did you order this? Yeah, well, let me check it out when it comes in, and I mean, we've done that before. We've shared, hey, Terry wanted to read this. Okay, well, what's your borrow this? Okay,
Yeah.
And with the digital age now, I mean, we won't discuss digital comics too much, but we can share files a lot easier that way of books, and so.
Yeah, I mean, it would help. I mean, if you can read stuff online, then you can figure out where the ones you really want to own, the physical copies, I guess.
I've been hearing real good things about, and I've enjoyed some of the covers I've seen in previews of this book called Neon Future, written by Steve Aoki. Aoki?
He's a musician or something,
DJ,
right?
yeah, I think he's a DJ. I read the first issue of that Saturday, and I was like, man, this is pretty good. I mean, it's not nothing groundbreaking. It's, it's humanity versus, it's like augmented humans, it's in like cyborgs and stuff versus non-augmented. It's what it's in that society kind of thing. But the story was good. It was intriguing.
That's what I'm saying. When you get the new catalog and you're looking at stuff, that's a book I think I saw, but I didn't pick up. But it's
well, I went on eBay and picked up issue 2. So
one of those things that's hard to decide, especially with those small press books, because if you don't order them then, you may not be able to find them.
Right, exactly.
And I guess you could find them probably on eBay, but even then, you got to pay shipping and stuff after that. But I mean,
kind of throwing back to your question though, and I'm going to kind of throw one here is, say you've gotten on a book, that's like right now with Spawn with me.
Mm-hmm.
I read Spawn up to issue probably 25 when it first came out, 25, 30.
I think you know where you're going.
And jumping back in, do you go back and kind of get all those issues, or do you settle for just ordering the trades? I mean,
that would be a good way to do them, is getting the trades. Because what happens when if you say like you with Spawn, you decide to go back and get those issues, and you hit those issues that are out of your
30s.
That are out of your
yeah,
pocket.
that's exactly that's where I'm at now. And I was looking at one that we had talked about. Was the first Gunslinger Spawn.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man,
issues,
that's $125 for one issue. I'm like, I could take that money and pay a bill or something, or even buy an old X-Men or something.
Does that maybe put a stop to your run, or does that just hinder it for a while?
I mean, unless I hit the lottery, it's going to have to stop it for a while.
Right.
Unless I can find them elsewhere, like in dollar boxes or something.
And even now, a lot of trades are going out of print.
Yeah,
you wouldn't believe it, but the question trades are in the $100 for those.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, you can still pick up the single issues of the question online fairly easily, but the trades
the quarter boxes
are out of print and really expensive.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's like the last Wonder Woman archives. It's like volume 8, or maybe it wasn't even the Wonder Woman archives. Maybe it was like Adventures of Wonder Woman archives or something like that. It had a different title, but it was like the 8th archive. I know that thing sells for like $200.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
because at the time those were coming out. They were $50-$60 a pop, and they weren't putting them out that much. So.
Hardcore collectors want those single issues, so that could really stop your run cold when you hit a book that's maybe not a $30 or $40 book, but then you hit a book that's getting into the $100, $80. Man, that makes you have to really think.
I mean, I guess I could sell a kidney and afford to buy my Spawn run.
Right. Yeah.
Well, a $100 issue is not going to stop me from completing a collection, but a $100 issue that's only like 6 years old will.
Right. Like if you needed a $100 issue of Daredevil.
I'd drop $100.
Yeah. Oh yeah, something like that.
It may not stop you, but I think it'll hinder a lot of people. Made them take pause.
Well, like
wait
Gal
around.
said, I'd wait.
Look for a better deal. Hunt for it. I mean, sometimes you can still find those issues if you look hard enough and you got enough comic book shops around.
Yeah,
you can find them cheap, but sometimes you can't. And that's.
There's a shop in Tulsa that I.
Will you settle on a Will you settle on a trade just to maybe put that in as a placeholder or something?
I would probably just do it digitally and read it.
Yeah,
or maybe
I just download it and read it digitally.
Yeah.
Move on.
Either that,
or maybe until I can find it for a price I want to pay.
Right.
Like I said, there's a shop in Tulsa that I have found some Spawns I need, and they're reasonably priced. He's not got a high price on them. So I need to go pick up those. But I mean, there again, I'm not going to find that first Gunslinger, and even the homage covers.
Yeah,
those are $30 a pop, easily. which I don't mind spending 30 or 40 on something like that. But you know,
I think in all, but with yours in particular, Spawn, the Gunslinger also harkens back to a Stephen King, so it has
right. So
it
Stephen
also
King
has a lot of
fans.
people picking that up, and it was a low print run. So,
But it wasn't
makes
the lowest
harder.
print run, though.
It wasn't, but it's still a low print run. So it's
I
even
saw
harder
the other
to find.
day. So what was it?
It was under 10,000.
I think it was. Yes.
So yeah, that's another interesting thing that, you know, certain books in a run or jump up there. Do you go back and get them? Yeah.
The lowest Spawn run, lowest print run of Spawn was Spawn 243,
Is that the? Yeah, I think I know. Yeah.
and there was 11,714 copies. So that was the
Well, I thought I
lowest.
saw on a video earlier today that they said that Gunslinger Spawn was under 10,000.
Let's see, the Gunslinger Spawn.
So yeah, I'd probably go back and even the $30, $40 ones are still going to make me pause for a little bit, you know, until I have that money to get a $30, $41, especially if I'm paying bills or something that
Yeah.
month.
Well, I mean, it's like Dal saying, why would I drop $100 on a Spawn when I could drop $100 on an issue of Uncanny X-Men that's proven itself over time?
True. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, right
Get
now.
you an X-Men 101, you know.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know what it was, but yeah.
But speaking
Yeah,
of Spawn, I'm interested in the next couple of issues that are going to be coming out in a little that are going
Issue 300.
Yeah, the 298 and 299 and 300 all are Amazing Spider-Man
Right.
homage.
Yep.
Homage.
Homage, yes. So
And it, you know, I mean, I've toyed with going back and getting an Avengers run from 100, starting at 100 up, or even maybe 50 and up. You know, I'm not going to go below because I mean then you start getting into high dollar money. Really, with Avengers, I guess 25 and up is not too expensive, but
but there's still
some
some
books
there.
there, yeah. But most of those can be found for 20, 25, anywhere from 20 to 50 bucks. And most of the other ones in the 80s, you can get for $1 a piece at the shop, usually, or something. But if I was going to put together a established story or an established book run, that Batman, finish those up. But I mean, you've got to figure out like you're talking about the price point. Trying to figure out where you want to go at. So.
I think like a lot of those, I would pick up a trade to, at least if I wanted to read it, and I still wanted something physical in my hands to as a placeholder.
There was a time where I got a whole bunch of I went the trade route, and I had to keep buying bookcases. And then I finally decided, I'm just going back to single issues.
I still put my trades, if I can fit it in a bag or something, I'll put it in a bag. Or if it takes a magazine bag, I'll put it in a magazine bag, and I'll just file them away in the boxes. I don't usually keep shelves on them. I mean, there are some trades that are larger than your box. You would have to use a magazine box or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But boxes add up too. So if you want to do shelves, they look a lot nicer, of course, on your shelf.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well,
that was my topic of the day.
Well, I definitely have one issue that I settled for a hardcover on, and that was the Eerie #1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to order the Eerie Archives because I'll never own an Eerie #1.
No, I don't think anybody. I'm not even sure anybody actually does own an Eerie #1. It's not. It's still. I think there's still rumor. Did it really exist?
Yeah.
Oh, it really existed.
I don't know.
Well, we with your topic, covered my topic.
The original
so.
never existed, just the bootleg.
The bootleg.
Yep. Because I was going to mention about, Tom King being taken off of Batman. We kind of talked about that a bit in with your topic. So
yeah.
And the X books are stopping. So, yeah, we've covered all bases.
Excellent. I'm glad that
What did you think of Game of Thrones?
Well, I'm like most everybody. The 8th season was definitely not what I wanted.
To me, it felt, and it was rushed. I think if they would have had another 4 episodes, they could have fleshed out some of the story, maybe.
If they'd started writing it totally different than what it was, yeah. But the way they had it written, I wouldn't glad they got it over with.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I've seen that. It cracks me up. I've seen that.
Anything short of Arya putting a sword through Cersei's face is a ripoff.
Yeah.
The meme of the horse, it's finally drawn on one. The horse's end is finally drawn at the beginning. The middle looks rough, and the last is like horrible.
Stick figure.
Yeah, that cracks me up because I've seen it used for several different things. And saw it used for the Game of Thrones the other day. So
Yeah, I picked up all 7 seasons of Game of Thrones on Blu-ray, and the last one I think I have a DVD. Now I need to chunk them all.
yeah, and we've picked them up at Target on Black Friday on DVD, and I'm just like, do I really want to keep these now?
Really? I mean, it's just... the end was just so bad.
It was so bad that it ruined the entire series.
Yeah, I guess that kind of happens with comics, too. I mean, like, the most famous for me, and I think a few of us here, is In League.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so good when it kicked off, and then...
I think I read the first issue of that.
Boom, just,
There again, first 2 issues, really good because of Rick Remender.
Yep.
That's true, yes.
And then it kind of fizzled.
Yes,
it didn't fizzle. It flat out blew up.
Yeah, they changed artists, and they changed writers on it, I think. I can't remember. And it just went down fast and furious.
They switched companies even.
Yes, it did. I think it switched companies.
Yeah, it went self-published, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That was kind of Game of Thrones. It was just, there's almost no words for how bad it was,
Damn.
So. Well, all right.
Yeah, movie-wise, yes.
Oh, movie-wise, you're going to talk about Endgame? I haven't seen it yet.
So I haven't seen it either. I haven't seen it either. I'm going to go see it probably next weekend.
I saw John Wick 3.
I still need to see 1 and 2.
I want to see. I've seen 1. 1 was great. 2, not so
I own them. I just don't have. I just.
The one thing I hear about 3 is a lot of people liked it. It was but it was so action packed that there wasn't as much story in it, and the action went on and on and on. Some people were like holding their breath too long. They just like, oh, come on, this has got to give me a pace it a little bit better. It's just like, I can't take it anymore.
It was action packed.
I haven't seen it yet, so that's what I'm.
Lots of action in it.
And only hour and a half movie.
No, it was 2 hours.
2 hours.
But it didn't seem like 2 hours.
I mean, that's what I hate is when they do an action-packed movie like that, but then they draw it out to 2.5, 3 hours, and make it longer than what really needs to be. So,
well, that's why I haven't gone to see Endgame. I'm just like, I cannot get myself up to go to a 3-hour movie.
As you get older, it's hard to hold your water too for 3 hours.
Well,
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true for anybody.
I was going to say we saw Detective Pikachu, and my girls are old enough that they were Pokemon fans when they were younger and watched all the cartoons and everything. So I've seen it too, and it's kind of neat to see them on the big screen, kind of the computer animated, and not the cartoon animated, I guess you could say. It was actually a fun movie. There's nothing really groundbreaking in it. The animation, the effects were good. The CGI was really good. How they interacted, and so I was kind of worried with Ryan Reynolds doing the Pikachu and wondering about a lot of his innuendos, but it wasn't bad. It was a fun movie. Everyone can enjoy it. So
on the going along sort of along with that is the Sonic movie. Looks really bad. Didn't they? I heard recently they just did they delay? Is it going to be delayed?
It's delayed to 2020.
Yeah,
they pushed it back to 2020, and they're going to go back and redesign them.
Yeah, anytime you.
I have finally seen the trailer. It was on the beginning of Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, it looked pretty bad, didn't it?
It looked bad, but what's sad is the song they used in the trailer. And
what song was that?
I can't think of the song now. And it's a song I really like, and it's just kind of ruined the song.
Was it Journey?
No, it wasn't Journey. But yeah, it ruined the song for
The
me.
dialogue in the movie didn't seem too terrible. But
looking at Jim Carrey, though, in the trailer, I thought he did, and having played the video games, I thought he did really good. His scenes were really good.
Yeah,
but
he looks pretty bad.
Yeah, it does look bad. So, yeah.
And anytime you delay a movie, then you know something it's bad.
Well, hopefully with
there's a YouTuber, and they have a series of videos called Nadim's Nerdland, and they redid the Sonic trailer, and they just had a video of a hedgehog running down a street, and they they photoshopped blue onto it. and he was all like, "See, I fixed it for you."
I don't know. With Game of Thrones, I hope that we, in a few years, will come back once the books are done, and if the books are
The
done.
books are never going to be done.
Well,
it's going to be just like in that movie. I can't remember the name of that movie, but they're in prison, and they're throwing a big ruckus, and the warden's out there, and he's talking to them, and one of the things they want to stop this ruckus is they want the Game of Thrones books, and he's telling them that hadn't happened. And he's like, we read that. No, that's in the TV series.
Yeah.
What was that from?
Oh,
It's a British movie.
I don't remember. It was a pretty fun movie, though.
But anyway, like with the Full Metal Alchemist thing I talked about before, maybe once the books, the series is done, they'll redo it and they'll be able to do the ending how it should be done. Who knows? So, all right.
That's all I have.
That's all you got?
That was my topic, pretty much. So.
Got anything? Nothing?
I'm kind of glad King's off Batman.
Well, and he's going to do a new Batman book with him and Catwoman.
I'm kind of glad King's off Batman.
I am too.
Tired of
I'll still never
Batman
be able to
being
forgive him
depressed.
for making Batman fist
bump.
But
Batman
he
doesn't fist bump.
He does. That wasn't him. That was Snyder.
Oh, was that Snyder? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Snyder did that.
No, I won't forgive Snyder.
Okay.
This feels like a Tom King storyline.
Honestly, I think I know who they're going to get to be the writer.
Remender for the first 2 issues.
And actually, his DC stuff's been pretty good.
Oh God! Please tell me it's not Bendis.
I think that's who they're going to go with.
Oh,
But you know what though? With Action Comics, you've gotten in the old Jessica Jones spy stuff kind of things. Writing, he's been really
I won't
good.
read anything Bendis does
His
anymore.
Superman stuff is more the superhero stuff. So I mean, you kind of got.
I don't
think with
care,
Batman-
Dal.
I think with
I'm not
Batman,
buying
you'll
any
get-
Bendis books, Dal.
All right, I'm just saying. I think that's who they're going to get. So they need to bring back Tom Mandrake on the art.
Now, that I could get behind.
Yeah. Although he's old, so older, not
That matters.
Well, I don't know if he could do a monthly book. That's what I'm saying. So, but he has like a year lead in, so I guess he could do it. So I don't know.
So
Anyway,
he's going to be on it for another year?
issue 85 is his last issue.
Okay.
Yeah. So see, I'll have a gap. We'll have 70 and then 86. So yeah. All right. So like us on Facebook. We have our Comic Book Straight Talk Facebook page. On YouTube, click the little the little bell.
The bell. There's a bell there.
There's a bell. Because you're real good when you're talking about with an angel and unicorn. You tell them everything. So why don't you hit the outro then?
Click subscribe.
Yeah.
Click subscribe and hit the bell.
Hit the bell.
Subscribe and hit the bell. Ding the bell.
Ding the bell. Ding. An angel gets his wings every time a bell rings.
There you go. Every
Yeah.
time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's
Right
right.
here on Comic Book
That's
Straight
right.
Talk.
That's the only thing I know from that movie. That's the only thing I know. All right, this is Dalian.
Terry,
Kenny.
signing off.